Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another weekend of racing here with us at Delta Racing League, bringing you week 2 of our World Challenge. We're in season 3 here, and tonight we're going to be racing at Valencia. But before we get too much farther into this, my name is Matt McAdams, and joining me in the commentator's booth is Adam Santana. How are we doing tonight, Adam? How are we feeling about tonight's race?
Oh, I'm feeling fantastic, and I think we're going to be in for a good one. I think we have a pretty good chance of rain, and we are racing at a pretty technically difficult track. I feel like it is, and I feel like people take this negatively when I say it, but I don't mean it that way. It is a motorcycle track, so it's tough and tight and twisty, so you add in some rain, and we're going to have a spicy one.
Yeah, the spicy one it will be, and yeah, it's mixed reports. With Delta Racing League's history, mixed chances of rain means an almost certain, chance of rain. But from us watching up here, that just means better racing for all of us because it means a lot more challenging of a race for everybody on track. But we'll see. Right now, the track's looking pretty good, and the drivers are having a good run around it. A lot of good times out of here. Seeing a couple 131s starting to break through, a lot of 132s and 33s, but not a lot of separation really between some of those middle times. And any second here, we're going to be switching over to qualifying. We're just waiting for free practice to wrap up. But while we wait for that to switch over, let's just talk a little bit about the results of last week's race. It was an exciting finish. It was an exciting entire race. So if anybody didn't catch it, make sure to go back and watch that VOD. But let's see here. Let me go to race 1, GT3 Pros, as we just switched over to qualifying, and it is raining, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy. So let me rush through these standings really quick just so we can get over and get our eyes on the track here. Jeff Spangler cranking out the first challenge on the season opener in first place in the McLaren. Ryan Garrity in second place in the Ferrari. And then we had a very exciting finish in the battle for third and fourth place. Ben Burchett snagging a pass on the last corner of the race just before the checkered flag to pass Phil Brown after a battle that waged on for, about a dozen laps. Those two were going back and forth. So finally, all coming down to the line, it was a quarter of a tenth of a second was all that separated them. So truly a photo finish there. Andre Lloyd in 5th place, Felix Payan in 6th, Jack Lindner in 7th, Ross Sparrow finishing in 8th. And the last one's a DNS. So that's the pro standings. Let's go over the AM standings right now as the AMs are getting let out onto the field. In first place going to be Ryan Barkins, followed by Juan Martins in 2nd, Rob Jacques in P3, Albert Ganoia in P4, Trey Morgan in P5. In P6, Jim Grimes. Behind him was Pierce Hanley in P7, Gabriel Macedo in P8, and that is going to round out the AM field. Speaking of the AM field, let's go ahead and get our eyes over onto them as they are getting let out onto the track, and it is a wet one, folks.
So I got 3 things already, and we're 30 seconds into qualifying. First, absolutely go back and rewatch last week's race. Just for the finish. I'd say watch the whole race because it was a great race, but the finish especially. I was going to mention that it was about to take over to rain in about 30 minutes as we were moving from practice to qualifying, but that didn't necessarily mean we're going to have rain, and we're going to go dry in 10 minutes or less. So our AM drivers are in trouble for qualifying.
Well, I guess we'll see. We're already seeing people kind of overshooting their braking markers because, the car is not stopping in the amount of time they're expecting it to. Here comes Michael Campbell coming in to try that same corner.
Yeah, and the way that ACC works, it works like it does in real life. So the way it simulates the weather is that it could have been raining at the track for 3 or 4 hours, technically, before the session started. So the track could be incredibly wet right now, and the rain's coming down pretty good, but with the cars being on track now, they can hopefully get a bit of a dry line started for themselves and bring their times down. But if it stops raining anytime between now and the end of qualifying, BM field will be behind the entire pro field, pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, and there's not going to be a lot that they can do about it. Ron Martin's working his way through the S's there.
The only thing that they can really hope for is that it stops raining early and they can maybe pit and or return to garage and get on dry tires and maybe get one lap on a damp or greasy track. But with this amount of rain, I don't think that's likely.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they get lucky, but if I'm them right now, I'm just hoping to set the best wet time I can. Because time is limited, and I know these drivers know that, and waiting for the weather to change just means you're not setting the best time you can with what the cards you've been dealt. So we'll see what the drivers do with it. We've got a couple, I believe, that are about to set their first time here. Jim Grimes out here. Let me see. No, he is not. This is his out lap. That's just where he is on the track.
Yeah, I can't clock who was the first out. Ooh. Oh, that was the out of the last turn as well. That's doubly bad, so that ruins that entire lap.
Yeah, Ryan Barkins here pushes it out wide.
That corner is super tricky in the dry.
Yeah, turn 14 there, Campos.
Yeah, and I think the hardest part about this is that you're really dependent on taking curbs around this track. The racing line, Pierce Hanley with a 42.8. Around 11-12 seconds off the fastest laps we would expect to see in the dry, so not too bad of a lap so far. You typically expect about a 10-second gap from a dry to a wet track.
Yep, looking good so far. Also for Trey Morgan.
We have his livery tonight.
We do. We got that sorted out about 10 minutes before the qualifying session.
I'm glad because we didn't get to see it last week, and I had remembered that he had posted it. And I'm a Colts fan, not so much Bears fan, but the half Colts, half Bears, and the livery was very well done. And yeah, I'm glad we're seeing it tonight.
Yep. Juan Martin starting their first flyer. Last one was a 1:43.2, but it must have been invalid. Same story for Albert Ganoyas, goes across with a 1:45.2, but wasn't a valid attempt.
Yeah, only Hanley and Morgan with times on the board so far, but still plenty of time for the infield to give at least a couple of...
Ooh, we can see that understeering on the brakes there. That Ferrari just plowing forward, but Hanley manages to get it around the corner without going wide. And we're into turn 12. I really want to see the onboard when he comes up to turn 14 and see how he is able to handle that. This is the one that's been tripping up drivers here, and you can see why it just sneaks up on you. A lot of trail braking there in the wet to get the car to navigate that, and he does so cleanly.
Yeah, very well. It's super tricky because you kind of have to start braking when you're not in a straight line, and with a 42.3, that was a half-second pickup, I believe.
Just about a half-second improvement.
Getting faster, easing into it, and that's kind of what you would expect in these conditions as the cars continue to go around the track. Yeah, but that last corner, you're not braking in a straight line, so especially in the wet, if you brake when you have any type of steering lock in, you will lock the front brakes, and it's a 43 from Michael Campbell.
Out of nowhere, sneaking in with a two-second faster lap.
I wonder if Michael's going to be an AM driver after this week.
Yeah.
That'll be something to keep an eye on. Or it could just be, the conditions are getting up, but it looks like the rain has stopped
has definitely stopped falling because the track's getting faster with Albert Ganoya sneaking in with a 39.7. And then promptly vacating the track.
If I'm Albert, I am returning to garage. I'm going back into my setup. I'm minimizing the tire pressures on my wets, and I'm going back out, and I'm trying to set one fast one.
Yep, that is exactly what I'd be doing.
Yeah, because everyone else that's out right now, their tires are going to start overheating very quickly. And there's plenty of time with a little under 3.5 minutes to... Oh, big spin from Pierce Hanley.
Spin. Yeah, and what was it that caught him? I'm going to watch the stream back here. Oh, just a little bit of oversteer going in. Let me get to somebody who's driving here. Sorry about that, folks. Yeah, he just lost
0.8 up right now.
What happened there? Pierce he locked up on the brakes, and the back end came out. And just with the conditions of the road, he spun all the way off the track. Juan Martin's coming up to the same spot of track here that just tripped up Pierce Hanley.
Holds it nicely. I wonder if anyone caught that the rain was possibly going to stop while they were out and was on lower tire pressures, and now that's maybe why Michael Campbell's lap time and Albert as well with the 39.7. I don't. So we have Grimes in the pits, but they don't. They are not moving, so I believe they're done.
Right now watching Ryan Barkin's lap as he goes into the purple border, meaning he's on pace to beat Albert Ganoya's lap. And we can actually see them trading it a little bit as Ryan Barkins finds 3/10 in a corner. And that is going to be monumental on this final lap here.
Went huge in that corner.
Oh, and he overshoots it.
Oh, and he's going to invalidate.
Oh,
Oh, no.
Just as that
He
happens.
will have enough time to get back. Oh, but he went back to the pits. He would have had enough time to go back around.
We'll see if he can maybe get something put together. The wets are going to heat up pretty fast as long as he can nail those pressures.
I don't think he won't have enough time to get back out.
That may be his. Yeah, he's going to try. We can see him out. Albert Ganoya snagging that purple border here as Michael Campbell overshot one corner. And man, you can see just how that car is skating on the asphalt, struggling for grip, but he finds it exiting the last corner and finds 2/10 out of it as yellow flag waves behind him. Ryan Barkins puts it back in the pits. There's our new fastest lap of the qualifying session from Michael Campbell. It's going to be a 1:39.357.
And Albert's not too far off that right now. Just needs another 10th.
Now there it
we'll
is.
Get another lap as well. So yeah, I think these two are just going to swap it back, and I think Ganoya is probably in the catbird seat here.
Almost a 1:38. So close.
Woo! Campbell's not picking up a lot, and Ganoya is already 2/10 up, so must have on that lap, on the previous lap before they started that lap, must have had a really bad exit out of the last corner.
Yep.
And Hanley is 1.5 seconds up, but that might only be one position. Now almost 2 seconds up.
Trey Morgan coming across the line for their final attempt.
Ooh,
Oh, and a big slide.
Just clip that outside curb, and that's all you have to do there to just spin.
That's the same one that caught
so
Pierce Hanley
unlucky.
off, too. That's just that corner is going to be brutal in the wet. Michael Campbell, seemingly out of nowhere, has found over a half second. We saw him negative in the delta there for a bit.
The track has upgraded to damp, so this could be very important, at least for the start of the race, with nailing this corner. And it's going to be so close to the line. It's going to be almost zeros, the gap.
There it is.
13 thousandths. Wow.
Well, hold on. It's not over yet, folks. Albert Ganoya coming around turn
Just
14.
touched the white line, but he's okay.
Oh, that's wide.
Oh.
No, he loses it. Oh, and that's going to be a second place starting there for Albert Ganoya. But as we say that, the pros are out on track and getting ready to.
Wow.
Getting ready
I wonder if anyone is gambling on dries right now.
I'm sure some of them will be.
I would go with super high pressure dries. Or maybe just go out on wets and plan to do like 1 or 2 laps for a banker and then hop in on dries when the track goes greasy, because it should go quickly at this point.
Yep.
But I mean, our pro field is small, so maybe not. And we don't have any sun, so the sun's not helping either.
No. I'm not
This
sure.
will be interesting to see.
They will definitely be having a more challenging qualifying session than the amateurs, if you ask me, because these right on the line transitional phases of the track is really tough to drive on.
Yeah, and with the best lap by Campbell at 39.0, that's not quite crossover dry period yet.
Yeah.
at some point, I think our pro drivers are going to hit that crossover, and I think do a couple laps on the wets, come back in, put dries on with a bit higher pressures, and go for broke is probably the call. But I guess staying on lower pressure wets for the entire 10 minutes, it's going to be marginal, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to start getting the answers to that here pretty soon. Andre Lloyd, about halfway through this lap, this will be his first hot lap, or first flyer of the qualifying session for Andre. We'll see what he's able to do with it. Let's see, behind him, he's got the number 25 car, or Felix Payan. The Audi that is not going to be a fun car to drive in this kind of track condition. Twitchy on the best of days. He is going to be really struggling to manage that Audi during this qualifying session.
Yeah, I don't think the Audi Evo it's twitchy in the best of conditions. And that's coming from someone, when I raced on the Xbox, the Audi, the original Audi was my favorite car, and then I switched to the PC and I was like, I can't drive this car. It's super strange. But yeah, that car now. Ooh,
well, there we go.
Andre, already to the top, 38.3. That's 6/10, 7/10. Garrity to P2, and yeah, I mean the Enfield. I mean, they're just. We're gonna have a true. Pro's gonna walk out the top however many positions in the end behind. It's just inevitable at this point.
Yeah, with the track conditions improving like they are, there's really nothing the AMs are going to be able to do.
Another wrench is going to get thrown in, but not going to matter now. We have rain in 30 minutes, and qualifying and race do take place on the same day. So it could potentially rain until race start. It could stop before, so the track will be wetter before we start, or we might just have a wet race. We'll see.
So interesting mishap here. Gabriel Macedo with the AM field is still out on track.
Oh, they didn't read the briefing notes, or yeah, that's unfortunate. I don't know what sort of penalty there is for that.
Well, let's just hope that it doesn't cause any incidents, although Macedo is getting a little quicker. I mean, yeah, just hope they don't get in the way of the pros.
That's the other thing is, I think at this point you maybe have to throw a DQ in, because it's going to be unfair to the rest of the M field for the race. And yeah, and I do remember seeing Macedo out on track with the AM, so it's not a mistaken sign up and then you know, going out with the pros. So yeah, I think this is yeah, and I think anyone that can do that. Oh,
Felix Payan spun around in turn 14, waiting for his chance to get back out on the grid. Let's see, who's he waiting for? It's gonna be Joshua Worley. One more car. There we go.
I have another wrench thrown in. It's going to be medium rain in 30 minutes now, so we are going to have a wet start. That is going to be guaranteed. Conditions to the race, we'll see. I feel like anyone that can maybe make a call on Macedo is out on track at the moment.
I'm not sure how they're going to handle that one. That's unfortunate. Maybe ask them to start from the pits.
I don't think you could, after the session rolls over to the race, I don't think you can force it. So it could be, you know,
if you don't ready up, it'll teleport you to pits.
Well, yeah, they can certainly do that, but I think once it goes over the race session, like you can't, if you throw a DQ, it DQs them for the race. You can't force a pit lane start. So yeah, unfortunate.
Ben Burchett right now on a bit of flyer, and we can see track conditions improving immensely. It's visibly dry on parts of the track now. And Ben Burchett capitalizing on that, but who's doing a better job right now is Joshua Worley, a 1.5 seconds up on the last lap, and currently on pace to be the fastest of the qualifying session. 1.7 seconds. We might even see 2. He's catching up to the back of one of the Audis. I believe that is the Audi of Ross Sparrow, who goes way wide off the track, opening the door to Joshua Worley to bring this lap home. Bit of a rough last corner there, and he loses the purple border to Ben Burchett. But it is going to be fastest for now with a 1:37, 1:45, and there goes Ben Burchett crossing the line for first place with the first 1:36 of the session.
feeling it in Porsche tonight. And already 10th up. I lost a little bit there, but oh no, he just gained another thing. Oh, come on, Ben. Stop making me look silly. And was that Worley jumped up to P2, or was he P2 before that?
He was in P4, jumped up to P1, and then with P2.
Okay. I was looking away from the time for a second. So it's that Gary in P4, 9/10, almost 9/10 up, but 1.5 back. But this could put him in P3.
Finding, he's now over a half second faster than that previous lap. Joshua Worley is just not keeping up the pace here because Ben Burchett is setting a blistering pace right now.
I think the track is maybe upgraded again. Yep, it is now greasy, which means that it is still slightly wet on the racing line. It's too late for anyone to go on dry, so...
Ooh, Joshua Worley making up for that mistake he had in the final quarter last time as he brings it purple and sets a 136.187.
Just half a second up behind.
Oh, but it's not enough. He's in second place. No! 136.275.
Oh, it's all going to come down to this lap. They're both on their final lap, so whoever can do it. And oh my God, the pace is picking up all over.
And Ben's off the track.
Ben's done.
Which now opens the door to Ryan Garrity potentially to sneak it through. If we look at his time and Joshua Worley, they are pretty close here.
I don't know where he's at on track.
He's on turn 4. He just started.
Sorry, I was talking about Payan. Is at the end of the lap and is 3.3 seconds. Gaining time with him. I wonder if Felix pitted somewhere, weren't paying attention, went on the dries. Almost 4 seconds up, 4.2 down. This is going to put Payan up in the top 3. And he's going to have another lap. Whatever he's done is
P4.
working.
So yeah, now he's got another one to go lock in that time.
Okay, Garrity is half a second up, 3/10 down. Worley's 3/10 up on their previous pole. Andre Lloyd in P5 is almost a second up.
Car 777 DQ. That's Gabriel Macedo. Okay. There we go.
Okay. That was probably from the message I sent, so Macedo, I apologize, but it had to be done.
Yep. 'Tis the rules.
Yeah, with the track changing so much, it just truly couldn't.
Here we go. Joshua Worley screaming down the line, so he's going to be
huge gain.
No, 1/10, but Ryan Garrity, it's not going to be enough for first place.
Andre Lloyd is on a heater, 1.6 up, 1.7 down on their previous lap. It's not going to be enough.
Well, he's going to come across the line and we'll get that time.
It's going to be so close, but it's not going to be enough.
Second place with the 136. Oh, that's so close.
37,000. So we had our AM split was 13,000, and then our pro split is 37,000.
All right,
and Payan's not done, so we still have another driver.
We do.
Not a big gain right now, but who knows how much can be gained here in the last corner. Not enough for pole, but this is going to be positions. Maybe not. Nope. He's going to stay in P5, unfortunately.
But still a solid time out of him, 136.352. What a qualifying session. Yeah, that was
stressed.
Well, now you're even more stressed because look at those conditions.
It is pouring.
Oh no, what a bummer to be one of these drivers, and what a great day to be all of us watching at home.
Yeah, I feel, okay. Do you want to know something that's going to make all of our drivers infuriated?
What's that?
It is going to be heavy rain in 10 minutes or less. If you don't know anything about ACC, heavy rain can lead to a flooded track. With our lower grid count, we could potentially have a flooded track, which means it's going to be a nightmare. I don't think we're going to get one because I don't think it's going to be a super long period of that heavy of rain, but this is a race that I'm so glad I'm not taking part in.
Yeah, no kidding. As exciting as this is going to be to watch from here, this is not going to be fun for our drivers. It is going to be very stressful inside those cars.
It yes, but it also helps them know that they don't assuming that they've done wet and dry practice, they know that they can go on their wet setup, which is comforting at some point. But when you see that rain signature or the rain icon, and it's 3 straight diagonal lines, you know you're in for a bad time. But again, like you said, this is going to be so much fun for us to watch.
All right, just behind there was Joshua Worley qualifying in first place with a blistering 136.0. Just behind him, only 0.03 of a second behind him, was Andre Lloyd in second place. Ben Burchett in third place in the number 17 Porsche. In the number 56 Ferrari is going to be Ryan Garrity, starting behind Andre Lloyd. Next to him, it's going to be Felix Payan in the number 26 or 25 Audi. We saw him qualifying last car on the track to secure that 5th place start. Next to him is going to be Ross Sparrow in the number 5 Audi. The only other, I think it's the only other Audi on the track today. In 7th place in the number 77, unfortunately starting from the pits in this one, Gabriel Macedo after a qualifying violation there. Michael Campbell in 8th place in the number 79 Ford. Starting next to him is going to be Albert Ganoia in the number 98 BMW. Qualifying in P9. Next to him is going to be Ryan Barkin, starting behind Michael Campbell in the number 72 Ferrari. And we're really starting to see, let's see, there are a couple more. Yeah, we've got a pretty full grid tonight. Pierce Hanley starting in P11 on the inside of the track. And the number 33 Ferrari, we can hear them starting up their engines. 30 seconds till we start the formation lap. Juan Martins in 12th place in the number 12 Aston Martin. Next to him, going to be Trey Morgan rocking that new livery we get to see this week in the number 32 Mustang. Jim Grimes going to be starting in 48th place, or the 48 car in the Aston Martin in 14th place, excuse me. And in the back, Mac Morton, a late join, didn't really have a chance to qualify in the number 42 McLaren. And that is going to be our field today.
How amazing would it be to say that we have a P48 from qualifying?
Yeah, I know.
With the races that we have already, if you threw that many cars, I feel like you and I would probably have a stroke.
Probably, yeah.
Oh, that rain is...
Yeah, this is brutal.
Okay, we got some Pierce Hanley in the chat. We had some Josh earlier from known driver Noah McComber rooting on his friend.
Yeah, just look at the visibility from one of these cars behind. Look at this.
I mean, Worley is just in the best spot.
Yeah.
At the moment. And whoever comes out of that first turn in P1, they're not going to have an easy night, but they're going to have an easier night than everyone else in the spray.
Yeah, this is going to be a very tough start to this race, but it is going to be interesting. That much I can assure all of you.
It's going to be interesting as well. No one knows what the braking is going to be like into any corner. They'll get a little bit of a feel on this outlet, but obviously they're not going racing speed. Luckily, turn 1 here isn't a super hard braking zone, so the likelihood of having a big pileup, not high, but it is a higher speed corner, which could lead to, one car spinning, could lead to bad things. So we'll see what happens. Oh, was someone doing some iRacing strats there and cooling their tires on the grass a little bit?
Maybe.
I saw someone on the grass.
Hey, whatever you got to do to survive these conditions, man. We can see him stab on the brakes, which means I'm pretty sure we're going to start seeing them line up double file.
Could you do one thing for me? Or I can't remember if it's situational. Can you put the car make on the timing tree full time?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, let's do that. Oh, what a great program.
Love it.
Unbelievable. I mean, there was some SRO races today in Donington and Barber. Barber, a track I would love to have on ACC, but that's not going to happen now.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go. We're going on to the straight.
Yep, and any second we'll see the green lights light, and it's just going to be chaos right off the line. But here we go. Andre Lloyd and Joshua Worley starting this off from the front.
You can already see drivers popped out of line a little bit because they want a clear look.
Yep, and there's the green lights. The green flags are waving. We can see them starting to
Really out
space
well.
out. Yeah, it's looking good so far.
Ben out well as well. Up to 2. Oh, we
and
got
there's
spinners.
we got death.
Oh, that's carnage in the back.
No. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
We got cars all over the place.
Oh boy. That's most of the field.
Yeah, that is most of the field involved in that.
Yep. That's, oh man.
Not how we want to start a race, but we got to keep it going.
No, with the super, I mean, that just spread the entire field out.
Yeah.
And Burchett, so, oh man, no, I'm looking wrong. Sorry, I was looking at game this wrong. So Worley, I mean, already has a huge gap, and then from 2 down to 7th, we're pretty closely packed, but then we have a big gap to 8 down to 10, and then that's where the big gap starts.
Ooh, Trey Morgan spun off the track in turn 6.
I wonder if we'll have any early...
Whoa, big BMW drift there for Albert Ganoia.
Man, yeah, the track is... Oh, no.
Oh, there goes Pierce Hanley is the next to fall.
This is the worst thing I've ever had to say, I think, in 10 minutes or less, because we're already in the heavy rain phase. In 10 minutes or less, we have less heavy rain.
Well, here's the thing, too. We're still on the first lap.
I know.
There we go. Joshua Worley, the first one to survive the gauntlet. Ross Sparrow, the only one with a valid lap so far.
I mean, that's not surprising at all. These are the kinds of conditions that there's nothing harder to do in racing than...
Ooh, Mac Morgan with a very beat-up McLaren. Gonna go ahead and get that dealt with right out the gate.
Yeah.
Oh, we may have Andre Lloyd doing the same? No.
Noah in chat is having as much fun as we are. He said this is a riot.
Let's go. How's it going, Noah?
He said this is a riot.
Yeah, I see that, yeah. Let's take a look at Ryan Barkins as he's trying to get a pass here. We can see the second he slots back in behind Felix Payan, there is just nothing to see out the front of that car. The front splitter not looking any better. What about the rear wing of Payan? He almost can't see the Ferrari behind him.
You think at this point that a company like Ferrari, a car manufacturer like Ferrari, they'd have some higher quality wiper blades. I mean, come on, guys.
Oh, we saw a little bit of a
that
slide
was a
there.
big slide.
Yeah, for Albert. Yeah.
Also, that was a joke. If Ferrari made wiper blades, that would be incredible. That would truly be incredible.
Oh, another big slide out of Felix Payan off the track.
I mean, before he even got to the curbing, I mean, he was just... Oof. That's the last car I want to drive in these conditions. 100%.
New fastest lap for Joshua Worley as we see Ben Burchett looking to make a pass here on Pierce Hanley, and we can see both of them just sliding across that track.
Oh, and Hanley went super deep there.
Yeah, that's turn 14. That's the last corner. It's been catching drivers up in these conditions all night tonight.
Yeah, and worth mentioning, I mean, Worley hasn't checked out from Sparrow, so they're pretty close, a little over a second, but, oh, the gap from Ganoia. So, okay, never mind, that was just a timing glitch.
Oh, and Felix Payan off the track.
I wonder if Felix picked up damage in that lap 1 incident and was trying to hang on.
Tough to say, but Pierce Hanley snags that position back from Ben.
That's going to be the name of the game tonight. It's whoever keeps it clean is going to finish well.
Oh, big move there by Ben on the inside, and he secures it.
That was a great move. Hanley's not giving it up yet.
Let's see Jim Grimes maybe looking to make a move here on Trey Morgan. Goes the long way around in the Aston Martin. We see Trey Morgan has a very beat up nose of that Mustang. And that is not going to be helping him around these corners.
Man. That's more beat up than a 2003 Mustang and a Mustang beat.
Yeah.
That thing is busted. Andre Lloyd and Ryan Garrett.
Ooh, big wiggle there for Ryan
battle.
Garrity. Joshua
have to
Worley
say-
shaving 2 more seconds off his lap.
Man. Yeah, put a little bit of a gap on Ross Sparrow, but Ross is still hanging in there. Yeah, I think if I was in this race right now, I want to be in the 296 or the Aston. Anything else, I would feel very unsafe.
Yeah.
Ooh, super far.
Oh
out
no,
wide
and
front.
then Andre
Oh!
Lloyd loses it on the straight.
Oh, he was so lucky to catch that before he got into the
Yes,
wall.
he was. But there we go. And we saw Ben Burchett way off wide there as he rejoins the track back in. Right behind, that's contact.
No.
Oh no! Pierce Hanley booted off the track there by Ben Burchett.
Gonna have to give himself a penalty for that one. And that's kind of what I was talking about earlier, you know, when we're going to lap 1, is they don't know the braking points. I mean, it's changing. Everything is changing in this type of conditions. Sometimes the braking is shorter, sometimes it gets longer. Corners get wetter, they get drier, and every lap is different. And it's so hard to do, especially when you have a 60-minute race and you have to make every corner count. It's so difficult.
Felix Payan catching up to Pierce Hanley, and ooh, that McLaren has seen better days. Yikes.
No, I said Honda is the answer.
Oh
You know
no,
what?
that's a Ferrari. That's how bad the front of that thing looks. Yikes.
Oh no, that thing is done. Yeah, Honda's got to be up there with the not driving cars in these conditions. The Honda back in the 9 days. Oh,
Oh, okay. Well, Pierce Hanley almost turning into Felix Payan, who shoves his way through on the inside, gets the move done.
yeah, good awareness by Hanley there, even though I'm sure that's very annoying, but that car is busted.
Big pass on the inside by, who was that? Michael Campbell to move up into 9th place.
Yeah, and I think just to mention for the championship for each split, Ganoia and Barkins are in P3 and P4 right now. Macedo not too far behind in P6. Abs starting the pit lane might have been the best thing for Macedo. I think we maybe helped out in that situation because they were able to stay out of that lap 1 carnage. But they're up in P6, and I mean their pace is they're on pace. So
Yeah.
not they're yeah. Compared to the rest of the field, they're on pace. So the cars in front, they're a little bit slower, but ooh, big wiggle from this. Okay, as I was saying, nice things.
Commentator's curse strikes again.
Unbelievable. I cannot believe Macedo did that to me.
Pierce Hanley into the pits to get that Ferrari repaired.
It's even here. Oof. Sparrows close the gap up a little bit. to
Inside
Worley
of
for
1
P1.
second now.
I mean, I have been talking bad about the Audi, but Ross Sparrow is making it work right now.
All it takes is the hands of a very determined Canadian to
Well,
get a German
he's
sports
a-
car to go faster.
Well,
But he
you know
may
what?
have a run here. Let's look here.
I think he's hunting for water, maybe, or maybe just a clean sight line.
Probably
I
a
don't-
clean sight line if we're being
Yeah, I
honest
don't,
here.
I don't think anyone's hunting for water right now.
Well, they wouldn't have to look very hard.
Well, the good news is in less than 10 minutes, it's gonna lighten up a little bit. So that's good at least. The track has not gone to flooded. So that's another consolation for our drivers. So I don't think it's gonna get that wet. But I mean, still, the track is.
Ooh.
And Ben going wide. I think that was turn 1.
Yeah, it was.
So easy to do.
Oh, and then goes Macedo on the inside. See what order they come out. That's a Ferrari in front.
Yeah, I thought Ben had started braking on the curbs, and I thought it was maybe a race over for Ben. Oh, good drive out of that corner, but oh,
Macedo
wow.
sees the move coming and avoids the collision, but may have yielded the corner. Let's see. He's got the inside coming into turn 6. Oh, it's very close.
Gives them plenty of room. Fantastic driving.
Slots right back in.
This is another trick, braking zone, because again, you're not braking in a straight line for the entire braking zone yet. Oh, our drivers are really, I mean, they're absolutely figuring it out. Oh,
Oh, Michael Campbell finds his way off the track.
Gotta stop saying good things.
Ross Sparrow is a yellow flag. Where's he at? He's off in turn 14. It's the last turn again as he drops 2 positions there to Albert Ganoia and Ryan Barkins.
Wow.
Ryan Garrity through as well. Big mistake.
We could potentially, we're a whirly mistake away from an AM1-2.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. A couple
What are the
seasons ago,
temps?
I think it was my first, the temps.
There is the weather for you, everybody. I'll leave it up there for a couple seconds. So we've got decreasing rain.
Decreasing heavy in 10 or less, and then medium rain after that. So we're still going to be in the heavy rain phase, but we're going to end the race with slightly rain, but we're full wet the rest of the way. Oh, that 2.9. Oh, I think that was Garrity. Oh, nope, that was Macedo.
Yeah.
I mean, really driving the heck out of that fly right now.
Well, he's got Andre Lloyd behind him, so he's going to have to pull some hats out of, or some tricks out of his hat. If he's, oh, is he? That's not the right trick for this. Oh no.
And I mean, that's just, I'm assuming that's just the tiniest little bit of lock in the steering while braking, and that's just what happens. It's it's such a tiny, minuscule mistake, and you lose 5-10 seconds. Man, we got a huge gap from Ganoia to Barkin from 2 P3. I mean, that's for Ganoia to put that big of a gap on Barkins, 3.5 seconds ish.
Oh man, seasoned drivers will be able to hear just how gentle Ross Sparrow is having to be with that throttle pedal as he's exiting those corners. Goodness.
Yeah. This is where I personally, as a driver, do not excel because I have a lead foot. Thanks, Grandma. That was from you. My grandma loved to drive fast.
Just learn how to drive the cup car without spinning. I promise you, it'll fix it.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
Ryan Garrity really closing up on the back of Ryan Barkins here.
I think this is Barkin's second race in DRL. I believe so. How a fantastic show.
That name, that seems familiar to me. Let me see.
Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe they just didn't drive for like a season. Because I've only really been here for a couple seasons, so I don't know everyone.
Apparently the only one I see was the Mount Panorama race. So yeah, Ryan Barkins, a newer face here.
Well, you must have remembered their name, and I drank way too much that day to remember. So.
Yellow flag for Trey Morgan. Hangs it out. That's turn 14 again. The last corner claims another victim.
Man, yeah. We're not even 15 minutes into the race. I feel like we've had an entire race worth of action. This is incredible.
Yeah, it is. It not even been 15 minutes. When? What? Okay. All right. Cool. What is time?
No, it eludes me at this point. COVID broke all of our brains.
Isn't that the truth? Ryan Garrity trying. It looked like he was almost looking to take that inside line there for a second, and thankfully decides better.
Yeah, I feel like right now Ryan is taking the pile.
Ooh, big off track from Michael Campbell.
Wow, I think that was maybe the last corner, but I'm not even sure. I'm gonna check the replay on that.
Oh, and that's now turned into a 3-car battle for third place. Ryan Barkins, Ryan Garrity, and Ross Sparrow.
Yeah, I mean, I assume Sparrow would charge back into the field. Not quite like that, like he's done. Oh, I don't have my track map up in replay. Looks like turn... it was breaking into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Michael
6,
Campbell into the pits there.
Breaking into 8 was when Campbell hit the wall. Just in that. I mean, same thing as the last corner. Not the braking isn't all done in a straight line, and just locked up.
Oh, and there goes Ryan Barkins off the track.
Oh
It's
no!
the final corner again.
No.
Drivers just having the hardest time with turn 14.
Oh, man. I don't blame him. I mean, this entire track is so technical.
Yeah.
And it, like I said at the top of the stream, it is a motorcycle track. Like most tracks in Spain are, because they love their motorcycle racing. But this track is fitting for car racing, but it's...
Ooh, almost a big slide from Ryan Garrity there. What a catch.
Unbelievable. And yeah, I mean, you can see the normal racing line where our drivers are completely avoiding the curbing everywhere, essentially. The racing line for cars is all over the curbing, especially in the late first sector, the entire second sector, and the early third sector. It's... Oh, I mean, Ryan got... I think he even got on the grass there.
You can really see him. I'm going to hop on board. I want to see his steering wheel, because it feels like every corner he is just grabbing a handful of oversteer. I can't see his steering wheel.
Oh, well, we're in the wrong side of the corner.
There we go.
There it is. Yeah, honestly, I think we should stick with this just for a lap, just so everyone can see what our drivers are dealing with in car. It's in these conditions, you're constantly sawing at the wheel, looking for grip, turning in, taking the turning lockout, turning back in again, just trying to find grip anywhere you can on the track, because there is nothing. As Ross Sparrow puts in the fastest lap with rates of 44.8, again, I eat my words very quickly. The rain is lessening, so the pace should pick up.
And speaking of good views, Ross Sparrow doesn't have one. All he sees is mist.
This is a better view because we get to see what our drivers are doing. The track is Valencia. It is the Circuit Ricardo Tormo, I believe named after a Spanish motorcycle rider.
Right now we're on board with Ross Sparrow currently.
Whoa!
Ooh. What's up?
That car that was off, I did not see them until Ross was very close.
I missed it too, whatever it just was. Let's do an instant replay.
No, it was Morgan.
Was
off on the right side of the track.
Oh, really?
It wasn't super close, but the car just popped up out of the spray. I think Trey was just staying out of the way and got off track.
Gotcha.
One other note about this track, they raced Formula E here one time during 2020 during COVID, but they didn't race the full circuit. They cut off parts of Sector 2. So Josh Worth in a fast lap of the race. He has a 6.5 second gap. He is living good out front right now.
Wow, Ryan Garrity with a 43.
Whoa, that's a huge... Oh, man. I wonder if that's going to put Worley on a little bit of note.
A little wiggle there out of Ross Sparrow's Audi.
collected it though, and it was saying that Sparrow was only 3/10 off Gary's lap there, so they're both lapping faster than Worley and Ganoia in P2, so they're picking up time. It's a big gap to pick up, but there's a lot of race left.
Speaking of gaps that are closing here, Juan Martin's within a quarter second of the back of Gabriel Macedo as they come down into turn 1.
Inside ones out here 10 times out of 10. Oh, I said something that was right finally. If Martins would have passed Macedo around the outside, I would have just turned my PC off and gone to bed.
That's the number 47, or no, it wasn't number. What car was that we just watched go off track there?
I don't know. I can check it on the replay.
Yeah, it's not that important.
It's not. At that point, it didn't look like it was a position pass. So, I mean, we have Campbell, Handley, and Morgan all have pitted.
Yeah.
And Morgan is lapped because Morgan had a lot of damage when they pitted.
Yes, but also doesn't have to serve another pit stop if they don't want to.
Exactly. Well, and I mean, at this point when it's this wet, I mean, the tires aren't degrading too much. You could, if I were driving this race, unless the weather really changes in the next 10 minutes, well, no, I believe tire change is required. So
it
no,
is.
that strategy would not work. So everyone has to change tires anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, these are the type of conditions where using a set of wet tires for an hour isn't an issue, but there's no point in not taking a fresh set when you stop. So everyone's taking the same penalty at the pit stop as far as time goes.
All right, well, we've got a 3-car battle developing for second place behind Albert Ganoia, and we haven't seen a lot of him lately. He's been managing to stay off the cameras, but Ryan Garrity and Ross Sparrow have brought them to him.
His last lap was a 46.7 while Ross was a 44.8. Or Ryan was a 44.8 and Ross was a 44.3. Nope, that was last lap. Jesus.
Yeah, they both, yeah, they were
yep,
both very
those
quick.
were the last laps, so they're picking up time rapidly on Ganoia.
Yeah.
I do wonder if you're Ross or Ryan, if you're thinking pit if I can't make this move quick.
Well, there's still 37 minutes on the clock, so I don't know. It depends on how held up they get, if at all.
Oh, well. Albert almost gave both of them a free pass, but he held that so nicely.
Yeah, and that's turn 14. That's that last lap of the turn of the lap, and everybody is struggling with it.
I thought he was done.
There we go. Ryan Garrity was the next.
7. Man. So again, faster than Worley.
By 4/10, and by 8 to almost 9 to almost a second faster than Albert Ganoia on that last lap.
Yeah. The big smelly is loving these conditions.
Oh, and he goes off wide.
Oh, they're at free. Wow. We might have a race for first down.
Yeah, and that looked to me like Albert may have been giving him those positions.
I think once he made the mistake, he didn't want to do anything rash, like mash the brakes or put a lot of steering lock in or anything.
Yeah,
I think
probably smart.
And it's also, for the championship purposes, they're both pro drivers. So, obviously the points hurt, but at the end of the day, to the Anfield, he's not losing a huge amount.
That's a good way of looking at it.
But I think once he made that mistake, I think he just completely got out of it to not, have an unsafe rejoin or anything like that. So yeah,
Ryan Garrity goes off.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh, you know what caused it? Why having to be so slow is when Ganoia was off, it changed from asphalt to.
All right, we're going back to the replay here. Let's see what happened to Ryan.
Yeah, I need to see that. Too much curb. Nope. He was good there.
Out wide.
Yep.
And it's just glass out there. There's nothing
Nope,
he was going to do.
nothing.
Once he was off the track, he was gone.
Man.
That is unfortunate. And he takes that opportunity to come right into the pits,
Yep.
get those tires switched out. Good call there.
I like that call.
Oh,
God,
yellow
this-
flag for Ben Burchett in the final corner as well.
Oh,
Oh,
did the
no, and overcooks it on the rejoin. Gentle, gentle, gentle.
I don't think it did. No, the rain hasn't picked up. It's staying about the same. I do like that pit call for Ryan there. Not only just to get off the tires, but it also gives you a little bit of time just to reset, clear your head,
Yep.
and then get back out there.
Yep, absolutely.
And in all reality, it was a small mistake. It was a tiny mistake. It's just the conditions punish you.
Yeah, just overcooked it a little bit. That's all we needed. Another yellow flag. Oh, Trey Morgan's put the nose of that Mustang into the wall. That's turn 2. That's right at the start of the lap.
And again, with this level of moisture, I mean, it's so tough.
Yeah, Brian Garrity there off the jacks and back out onto the track.
Okay. I don't know the pit time loss here, and I was not able to find it earlier. It's not the longest pit lane on the calendar. It's certainly not the shortest either. But I think it's a probably like a 70-second time loss, if I had to guess. I mean, that includes obviously the stop and everything.
Yeah, so it's about a minute. So Ryan's pit
Oh,
stop
okay,
there
that's
was,
not too bad.
yeah, 30 seconds rolling, 33 on the jacks.
Okay, so a little over. So ideally at a minute. So yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess at this point the biggest question is, when does Worley pit? If I'm him, oh, and he got let by. I was about to say, if that continues for much longer, I maybe pit.
Yeah, Juan Martin's into the pits now.
Yeah, if I'm in any type of traffic at this moment, I'm pitting.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're so spread out. There's not many people that are fighting position with each other that are nose to tail. So yeah, at this point as a driver, it's pit at your liking.
Yep. Ooh, yellow flag for Michael Campbell in turn 12.
Oh. Yeah, so I guess at this point the car to keep an eye on is Garrity, and when our top 6 start pitting, where they come out in relation.
It's predicting he'll come when pits are finished, he'll be in 5th place.
Okay, that sounds about right. Yeah, so I mean, obviously, any type of mistake from anyone else in front,
And that changes it all. Yep.
Yeah. Because any one of those drivers can make the exact same small mistake. Oh, and
Yeah.
that's Macedo. So that I
Yep,
mean,
in turn 11.
Well, Pretty could come out in front of Macedo anyway, but I mean, Macedo gathered that up pretty quickly. Back on their way. Yeah, I don't want to say it with so much race left, but I think Ryan Garrity is going to really rue that mistake he made. Because I think with the pace that he was showing before that, I truly think he could have fought Worley by the end of the race.
There's still a lot of race left. I mean, we're one bad mistake for Joshua Worley to be back in this again.
Yep. But at this point, Worley hasn't thrown a yellow flag. He's keeping it steady. So there, Garrity, 43.7.
Yep.
Flying again.
Fastest lap of the race out on fresh tires.
Well, the bad news for Gary is Worley did a 43.9.
Yeah.
43.3! Woo! Okay. Yep, track is picking up. As Grimes goes into the pits to serve their mandatory pit stop. Just as we get on the 30-minute mark. Yeah, I think if I'm driving, and Barkins as well, I leave my pit stop for a little bit later than normal, just so I can dial in pressures for like the last 20 minutes.
Ben Burchett closing down the gap to Andre Lloyd out in front of him. And Andre dips right into the pits. Does Ben follow him? He does not.
No.
And he sets fastest lap of the race there, 43.2,
Yeah.
shaving a tenth of a second off Joshua Worley's time.
Yeah, if I'm out there right now, I'm going until my tires start overheating too much and then I pit. The track is really picking up.
Yeah,
You have to remember, the times during qualifying on a wet track were low 40s, and we're just getting into the 43s. So that's how wet this track has been.
we see Jim Grimes out of the pits. And leaving it out wide, let some other cars through. Never a bad decision if you're not confident with your pit exits.
43-1.
Barkin's out now. He's going to get the blue flag wave as he comes out right next to Ross Sparrow. Or excuse me, no, that was Ryan Garrity.
Garrity. Honestly, that's about the perfect way you can come out if there's another car. Didn't have to stop. Just let him by.
No, and he's got a fast car to follow, too. Ross
Honestly,
Sparrow, the first one into the 42s.
Wow. And I think that gap has come down. It came down 1.4 seconds the last lap. So, Worley needs to pit.
Yeah, he was second and a half faster than Worley on that last race, or last lap.
Yeah, I mean, obviously could have been a mistake, but I'm thinking maybe there's a tire issue at this point, maybe a tire pressure issue.
Probably.
I don't think we're going to have a huge change in rain the rest of the way, so I don't think we're going to get in danger of, you know, a damp or a greasy track or anything like that, but...
You know, throw the weather up here for the folks watching at home. Let's take a look here. Yeah, just a slight decrease in the rain down to light rain in about 30 minutes. Track has warmed up slightly.
Yep, so we're looking at about this level of rain, a little bit less for the rest of the race, but... I mean, you can see a huge difference on the racing line to the rest of the track, so the track isn't nearly as bad as it was 5 minutes ago.
We can see Ross Sparrow has almost shaved another second off that gap in this last lap. He was at 11 seconds at the start of it. Now inside of 10.
Whatever Ross Sparrow is doing right now, it's working, and I stay out until it stops working.
Yep, and Joshua Worley is into the pits.
Yeah, I wonder if it's two sides of the same coin where, you know, maybe Sparrow went a little bit lower on the pressures and Worley a little bit higher. So now as the rain lessened, Worley's times are dropping and Sparrow's picking up time. This will be super interesting to see how this shakes out.
Yeah, right now it is predicting he will retain first place after the pits.
Yep.
So it just comes down to how much time Ross Sparrow can gain in these next couple laps.
Well, and then again, if Worley, who is a very experienced driver, probably knows if there was a tire pressure issue. Ben with another spin in the last corner. No. Should have gone on the pit spin. Assuming that Worley was having a pressure issue with them possibly dropping, he knows exactly what he needs to do.
Yeah, well, we'll see what if his judgment is correct as he's let back out onto the track. Who is he going to come out in front of? Oh, Felix Payon's quite a bit back, so he'll have a nice clean track to come back out onto.
think. Excuse me, I can't tell exactly. I think Ross is.
What are you trying to figure out?
No, I'm trying to figure out what to do. I think he's still getting around that same. Yeah, I think it went faster. 42.1. He's flying right now. I think at this point, if I'm Ross, I stay out until I see Worley put up a faster lap than I do, which is an easier thing to do than you really think while you're in the car.
Great exit there for Gabriel Macedo. May have a run down the straight. Ooh, he's
gonna pop out. I don't think there's enough run.
No. Albert Ganoia into the pits now.
Got a yellow flag somewhere. That's
Trey
P14
Trey Morgan. He's going to be right on camera here in a second.
Yeah, I think
there he is.
Off track. Yep. Not in a hurry to get back on in front of anyone. Well done.
Ben Burchett going out another lap.
Yeah, with those couple spins, I'm a little surprised Ben hasn't pitted yet, but I mean, a 42.8, that's a good lap time. So.
Yeah, he's looking
not suffering for pace.
No, but it's looking like he's going to come out in 6th place after his pit, though. So he's either needs to start making up a lot of time here or get that car in the pits, get on some fresh rubber.
Yeah, at this point, I don't think you can overstate the fresh rubber. Where it's 23 minutes left, I think if you want to get the most out of it, right now is the time, especially because we know it's not going to stop raining. But we do know the rain is going to lessen, but at this point, with 41.8.
That's a very fast time. I mean, the track is getting quicker there. We see a little bit of the jump of the suspension for Gabriel Macedo.
Oh, never mind. I'm an idiot. I was about to say Worley, see where I went, but Ross is the one that hasn't pitted. I was thinking Worley was the one that hasn't pitted. So, no, yeah, Worley's in the pit window at this point. So,
well, he's already
a lot. Yeah, exactly. Worley's within the 60 seconds. Yeah.
Yep.
The Sparrow. So he's in good position right now. So he doesn't need to push, and I think he's in no man's land right now from everyone else. So he is just keep doing what you're doing.
You see here, Juan Martin's putting up a great defense for 9th place. Gabriel Macedo really looking for a way around. May have overcooked it into that corner, though. Yep, and a stab of the brakes to keep him off the, going off track there. Gives Juan Martins a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, I gotta wonder if they know each other. They both have that same shade of yellow and red as the accent, so a little bit of some friendly driving against each other.
Ryan Garrity sets another fastest lap of the race. So he is closing in on Felix Payant, who still needs to serve their mandatory pit stop. Oh, we see that is Trey Morgan off track there. Nice little bit of awareness there, gets out of the way of Ryan Garrity. Gabriel Macedo, ooh, looks like he was trying to close in on a gap there, but overshoots another corner. And it cannot be stated enough just how difficult it is to judge braking distances and corner speeds when the conditions are changing like this so rapidly. And so we're probably going to see a lot of these closer battles kind of yo-yo away from one another as they get close like this. Oh, and a bit of a slide there. Puts him out on the wet line.
He got wide early on in that braking, and I was a bit surprised he held it. But he held it very nicely.
Juan Martins diving to the inside there, maybe dealing with some tire pressure issues.
Yeah. At this point, if you're dealing with tire pressure issues, you have to pit. It's 20 minutes. You can go on a little bit lower pressures knowing the track is going to evolve.
Yeah, well, both these drivers have already served their mandatory pit stops, though.
Oh, they have.
Yeah.
Dang it, I'm an idiot.
Which does complicate things a little bit, but let's take a look over here. Ryan Garrity really starting to apply some pressure to Felix Payant as they come down into turn 14. Let's see, does Felix go? Yeah, he lets him through, and I imagine that's because he's heading into the pits.
Nope.
No, he stays out and dives to the wet line.
Curious. Very curious.
There's only 20 minutes left in this race. I'm not sure what the point of hanging on is, unless you're doing what Ross Sparrow is, and he's just beating everybody's lap time anyways. But that said, Joshua Worley was only a 10th behind him on that last lap.
Wow. So, I mean, the rain is lessening, but we're rain the rest of the way. 100% confirmed. So, wet tires have less of an imbalance from new to used, obviously depending on how long you've driven on them. So in an hour race, you don't see a huge offset in the wets, but at this point in the huge difference in the level of wet, you can gain a huge amount of pace that way just from the tire pressure change. So these drivers hanging on this late in the race, personally, I wouldn't do it, but I'm off and on, so.
Big gain there for Gabriel Macedo in the Ferrari behind. Takes a look at that inside. That could have almost been disaster for the Aston driver.
Oh, Macedo's got the next corner. How did he do that? Unbelievable.
There we go. Big move there by Gabriel Macedo.
Wow. I don't know how he did that. That was an incredible pass.
And Albert Ganoia with the new fastest lap there, out on some fresh tires.
Burchett into the pits. So we're still looking at Sparrow and Payans. And yeah, at this point, for Sparrow,
I mean, he's just out inside that 1 minute gap, and I'm sure he's aware of that. And there we go, into the pits.
I feel like, though, he's quick enough that he, on fresh rubber, maybe he's just banking on really putting those pressures down and creating a pace offset that way. I think you can certainly argue that is a perfectly legitimate strategy.
Ben out of the pits there. And comes out right in front of Andre Lloyd to hang on to 7th place.
That'll be a battle. How close is Lloyd there?
It's 0.7.
So yeah, that'll be a battle.
So yeah, that is going to become a battle. Juan Martins is not really letting Gabriel Macedo go, still inside that 2-second mark. Let's see where Joshua Worley is right now, turn 12. And where is Ross Sparrow? He is still on the jacks. It's going to be close.
So Worley just
Ross off the pits.
Line.
We'll see Josh Worley come through here. And there we go. No, it's not even close. Yep, Ross Sparrow now gets on the accelerator, and he's going to be a couple seconds back. That was one of the... It was a 2-second better pit stop than Joshua Worley's, but it is still not enough. A 5-second gap emerges there.
But the gap before Worley pitted was almost 10 seconds, I believe.
It was, yeah. So he has gained time with his pit strategy, and now he's got a 16-minute sprint where he doesn't really care what he does to those tires.
Exactly, and like I said, he could put those pressures way down, and by the race, Worley could have overheating tires where Sparrow's could be perfect. I think Ross Sparrow has played this very well.
I think he's played his hand about as best as he could, so now we're going to see if it pays off. Got a yellow flag. That means contact between Michael Campbell and Juan Martins.
I don't think that was for a position either. I think that's...
Yeah, he's a lap. Campbell is a lap down.
Man, yeah. Yeah, you never like to see that. But in these conditions,
we're gonna play the quick replay here. So it's gonna. It didn't stutter pulling this one up. So Juan Martins here. And it looks like he may have just been trying to get around a back marker. Let's see what happens. Slide out of the Mustang. Oh, slide out of the Aston too. Yeah, so there's no fault there. Just they happen to both be off on the same spot of the track there, and it does look like Juan Martins gets through anyways. So
yeah, that's so
no
funny.
No factor there.
And it's just that. That's very funny.
Nice little synchronized spin there, Ross Sparrow.
Put it in the Olympics.
What's going on here? What's going on? Why is Joshua Worley so slow?
Oh my god, I didn't realize that was Worley. Okay, I'm gonna check the replay.
Please do. I actually think I can still get it on stream. We're going to chance it. Here we go. Oh, he went way wide in turn 14.
Wow, he couldn't have gone wider. Almost.
No. And that's why I saw it say he was going to try and head into the pits there because he was just inside there and struggling for grip trying to get back out onto the track, and that just opens the door to Ross Sparrow to find a way through. Or at least sneak up on him.
Yep, so Worley's still P1, Sparrow P2. They have a huge gap to Ganoia behind. So this is going to be a straight fight the rest of the way. Unless they start tripping over each other.
Which is always possible.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
they both go a little wide there.
I'll be right back.
Yep. Well, we've got a couple of final battles here, although Felix Payan has he... Hold on, that may be a UI error. It's not. He has not served his mandatory pit stop. So this battle between him and Ryan Barkins is moot. That position is going to be handed down. In fact, he is probably going to be looking at losing several positions. When he does, it's got him looking at P10. When he does get that pit stop in and looking at the gaps over on the side, that pretty much lines up. All right, let's look at those last lap times for Joshua Worley and Ross Sparrow. Looks like it is going to be advantage Joshua Worley there by about 6/10, but maybe not out of this. It's going to be Albert Ganoia there. It was snagging fastest lap of the race, but Ryan Garrity in P4 right behind him to snag it. We may see Ryan Garrity start to close up on Ganoia for third place. We'll have to watch and see here. And again, Ryan Barkins, we see that split closing up here, but Felix Payan still has his pit stop to serve.
I can't believe he's still hanging out there. It's so late in the race. I feel like 20 minutes in these conditions is the last time, as late as I would pit personally.
Yeah, well, we'll see what he does. He's got to pit soon, though. Because at this point, he's a little bit holding up Ryan Barkins.
Yeah, and you just don't get enough reward from the tire swap at this point because you just can't use enough of the life. I don't know. I mean, maybe Felix is seeing something that we're not.
Yeah,
always possible.
I mean, his lap times aren't bad. Or what,
No.
About a second off pace right now.
But imagine what he could be doing on fresh tires.
Yeah. Oh, and let's check in on this. Ross Sparrow has found his way up to the back of Ryan or of Joshua Worley.
That's a drag race.
Worley's out in front.
Oh,
but early brakes gives it to Worley. Can the Audi stick it? He does. And that is Ross Sparrow up into first place.
I thought Sparrow was going to go deep there, but yeah, it looks like Worley's maybe a bit easy on the brakes, and Garrity with another fastest lap of the race.
So let's look at these last. I mean, he was a second faster than Worley on that last lap. He may be having problems with his tires with how early he was on the brakes there.
Could be.
And it didn't look like Ross was struggling to stick that pass either.
Or it could just be Ross is that much more confident at the moment than Josh is.
Yeah. Yellow flag, Jim Grimes caught out in turn 10. Just waiting for his chance to get back on the track.
Yeah.
Ryan Barkins does find his way around Felix Payan and has put a 2-second gap in front.
Worley's not falling off of Sparrow. So a little bit, 1.2, but we're not necessarily over for this.
He has had a phenomenal race all the way up until this point. He has been in a commanding lead of first place, and Ross Sparrow has just caught up to him with really it's pit strategy.
Pit strategy and lightning quick laps.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can say anything bad about the Audi next week.
Yeah, no kidding.
After this performance. Ross Sparrow, I mean, he's... Obviously, we have a good... No, I'm not even going to say it. He's having a fantastic race. We can blow Vape.
Yeah. Well, and starting from P6, I mean, he's up 5 positions.
Yeah, I mean, up 5 for him. Ganoya's up 5. Barkin's up 4. All some big movers.
Yeah, Ganoya up 6, starting in P9.
Oh, I'm showing up 5, so he's up 6. Nice. Oh, I feel okay. Race control is probably
since pit stop.
In. Well, I think it's factoring in. I maybe captured Macedo starting at P7 because of the pit lane start.
Oh yeah,
where the pit lane falls in relation to the grid. That's my guess. I'm blaming on Kunos.
Andre Lloyd with our first sub 140 of the race.
That's a good lap. Good catch, Ben. That was almost a second and a half.
Ooh, at 42 had a drive-through penalty. That was going to be, that's Mac Morgan. Oh, and spins it after leaving the pits.
Oh, no. I've had races like that where it just, everything goes wrong. Usually in the wet.
And there goes Ross Sparrow.
3.
God, Worley's still very quick, just not quick enough.
No, he hasn't been slow at all. It's just that Sparrow has just been so quick all night.
Well, and it also helps that he's on way newer tires.
That is
way new tires.
I think that is a huge difference right now because I think Sparrow is probably right in the sweet spot.
Let's see. So Joshua Worley pitting at the 34-minute mark. Ross Sparrow in at 43. So he's several laps younger tires. But speaking of fast times here, Andre Lloyd starting to apply some pressure to Ben Burchett. They race down the straight. It's going to be Burchett out in front, but it is really easy to clamp down a half-second gap.
So Ben must have made a mistake on that. Did a 42.1 where Lloyd did a 1 minute 40 flat. So just one more, even small mistake, gonna get through into P7. Still hold strong. It's right around 2 seconds, a little over 2. He's not slow. He just doesn't have quite that little bit more to close this gap up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I almost asked last week if Andre's livery was in-game livery, and then I saw the Oracle and I said, oh yeah, that's the Red Bull F1 livery.
Yeah.
You absolute knob. you moron. It does look like it could be an in-game livery.
It does. It's very well done.
It would be like, obviously, Max does own or part own a GT3 team and the livery is in the game. But like that, yeah, like that could look exactly like what they run.
Yeah, that's probably done on purpose.
Yeah, no, that's a great livery, perfectly made. You can slap that on about any racing car and it's gonna look good.
I mean, honestly, we've got a lot of good liveries around the track. I mean, here a great one here. Joshua Worley's Matco Tools Mustang is another great example. Trey Morgan's NFL Mustang. Like, we got some great liveries out here. Ryan Garrity rocking a nice looking Ferrari.
Love it. And Worley's Matco. That thing is super understated. But yeah, that one looks exactly like it could be something that's on a race car. It's missing about 20 decals, but
Yeah, right.
The base construction of it and the way it looks, it looks like an actual car livery. I'm so excited. IMSA at Indianapolis is in 2 weekends, and I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm jealous. IMSA weekends are so much fun.
So the first time the IMSA's been back at Indy in a while was last year, and I didn't go. So I went to GTWC, so I'm doing both this year.
Nice. I saw IMSA weekend at Laguna Seca back in 2020. God, that was a long time ago now. No, it was 2021.
Everyone talks about how great the IMSA weekends are, so I'm so excited.
Make sure you get paddock passes, if not pit and paddock passes.
Well, here's the rub, Andy. You can just sneak in really easily.
Yeah, it's same thing. Same thing at PIR when we were there for IndyCar weekends.
Yeah, at GTWC last year, we just walked in and no one asked a question. I think IMSA might be more strict because it's a bigger crowd, so we'll see. I think I did buy paddock pass. I can't remember. I might have paddock passes.
I would say paddock passes at the very least, because then even though you're not in pit lane watching pit changes, you're still back with the crews in their cars, in their garages, looking at everything happening. That's where the magic happens. That's where you should be, in my opinion.
I think if I was going to get paddock passes for a series, Pion still hasn't pitted. I don't know what he's doing. Did he maybe pit earlier but didn't satisfy the rule?
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. I was wondering if it was a UI bug. Sometimes ACC gets it wrong, or the TV gets it wrong, but in game it shows he hasn't served it yet. So, not super sure what's going on there.
Maybe he's gonna. No, it's showing him 0 pits, so maybe he's just gonna pit on the last lap. And, I mean, not the worst strategy in the world, but I think as good as driver as he is, I think him going on fresh tires would have helped him a lot.
Well,
probably gained him a lot.
Oh, and it's going to be a problem for him soon here, because Ben Burchett is starting to close up that gap to him. And if we look at those last lap times,
because if Felix doesn't pit, he's going to get DQ'd.
Yeah, there he goes. There he goes.
Okay, yep. Yeah, I'm really curious that he left it so late. He's going to lose a lot of positions.
Yeah, the prediction right now has him in P10, so...
Yeah, and with his pace, he could have fought back from that if he would have pitted 20 minutes ago. So, I wonder if there was something else occurring that forced him to do that. I'm not sure.
Tough to say.
Yeah.
But only 2 minutes left in the race, so didn't really leave himself with a lot of time to gain any positions after that pit stop.
No, that's the strategy I would use on a no pit window 60-minute dry race, is pit on the last lap. But yeah, I mean, Ross Sparrow's still holding Worley at over 3 seconds. Sparrow still, I mean, last lap was the fastest lap of the race at 38.742. So we never even really got close to the dry crossover. And I mean, the rain is still a lot.
Yeah.
It's still a lot.
And Felix Payan. Oh no, Allen spins it. Oh no. That's okay. He's got a minute and a half to Michael Campbell here, so he's just got to get it back on track, and he's got all the time in the world to do it right now. Uh-oh.
Boy.
Yeah, and that just goes to show you how slick it is out there.
Oh yeah, when you come up, there's no grip. Not at all. Oh, there was a car that Morgan in P13 was coming out of turn 1, and I think Payan maybe got spooked or was playing it safe, and then yeah, that led to the spin.
Ross Sparrow catches up to a back marker, and that is shrinking the gap to Joshua Worley down in a hurry.
I think that is...
That's Michael Campbell. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Campbell.
Hangs it out wide, and he'd be wise to leave it there. There we go, okay.
Yep. Very well done by Campbell to just let that go.
And there's the call out for final lap of the race.
I wish Campbell would have lifted a little bit more there, so Sparrow could have comfortably got back on the racing line, but no harm, no foul.
Doesn't seem to have been any consequence to the race or the lead, so I'm fine with it.
No, I think Ross Sparrow is totally locked in right now.
Hey, it would take a knock on wood. Everybody hears that, right? It would take a pretty big mistake for him to lose the lead right now.
Yeah. Well, if he loses the race right now, I think you have to fight Ross Sparrow in person.
God, yeah.
He might injure himself. No, Ross has driven an incredible race tonight. It's obviously the Worley mistake at the last corner aided him greatly, but I think even without that, he could have possibly won. We can't nail that on, but I think we would have had a really nice fight on without that mistake from Worley.
Yeah. But that's
Worley's not slow. He's just not as fast as Sparrow. They're both incredible right now.
Gabriel Macedo I believe that's his checkered flag here in P8. Nope, they're still going.
He will do one more because he's not behind Ross.
Yeah.
And I think we just saw someone pull out, and maybe he's going to wait. Nope. They just pulled off.
There we go, across the line there, on board with Ross Sparrow, our big winner of Valencia. Joshua Worley right behind him in second place. Albert Ganoia round in the final corner, one that has been tripping drivers up all day. Gets around it nice and clean one last time to finish in P3.
And again, an AM driver on the podium.
Yeah, I'm going to flip up the car numbers so we can see that here.
Drive by Ganoia.
And there is the splits huge. There. Ryan Barkin's also looking real strong here. P4 finish. Going to be rounding that final corner right there. Gonna cross the line in P5. Gets a little bit wiggly. Love the flourish there at the end. Well-earned celebration. Second place in class.
Absolutely fantastic by Ryan.
Ross Sparrow making his way down the line here. Finishing in a well-deserved P6. Not a great finish, all things considered, but with the way that race started, fighting his way back up to P6 is a great finish for Ben. Andre Lloyd across the line in P7. Gabriel Macedo right now in turn 12. Still got 2 turns to go to finish out this race. Of the others who have finished, Juan Martin's going to finish in P9. Felix Payan in P10. Michael Campbell in P11. Pierce Hanley going to finish in P12. Mac Morgan will eventually finish in P13. Gabriel Macedo across in P8. And that just leaves Jim Grimes there to finish in P14 and Pierce Hanley in P12. And that should be everybody who's going to cross the line there. And that's going to be our race finished. And a nice beat-up Ferrari there to give us our final look at the track there. And the rest of the drivers there parked out on the exit of turn 1. Well, folks, that was a race. And what a race it was.
I'm done. I mean, this ruined me. That race, I feel like I just drove that race. I'm mentally tired. I'm done.
Yeah, that was a very stressful race from start to finish, including qualifying. We had changing conditions all throughout both days. Man, what a day of racing. What a test to our 15 drivers who showed up and the 14 who finished it. What a gauntlet. What a gauntlet that ended up being. Huge congratulations to Ross Sparrow for pulling out the win. Joshua Worley also with a great performance. Albert Ganoia finishing in 3rd place, first in class for the AM drivers.
Huge for the program.
Yeah, big finish for him here at Valencia. And honestly, a strong performance of everybody who finished this race, man. For everybody who didn't quit on lap 1, you're all winners. Doesn't matter where you finished the race. Because if that was
honestly, the fact that we had that lap 1 carnage and there's some pretty big gaps, which is to be expected, but that everyone stayed in the race and fought for it. Love it. Love to see it.
Yep, everybody earned their finish here today, and That is going to be, it just means more exciting, because here's the thing that so many people forget about when you're doing these weekly races, right, is points are points, man. Finishing races wins championships. And all of those guys who decided to stuck out, guess what? They earned themselves for some points so that they show up next week even stronger in the standings. I mean, that is everything. So huge congratulations to everybody who finished, because that's important. I mean, that's finishing these races that sucks is everything.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely huge. Do we want to grab some drivers? Because we couldn't last week.
Yeah, because my internet crashed. So if there are any drivers, if you want to hop in there and see if anybody wants to come back up here.
Yeah, I'll hop in there. Give me a minute.
Yeah. All right, so while he's doing that, I'm going to... Oh, man, I don't have the standings in front of me anymore. Where'd they go? No, it all reset. I was going to try and do some on-the-fly standings for the season here just to see who moved where.
They're doing post-race, so if we want to... Who would we least annoy if we grabbed them right now?
Well, if none of them are prepared to do it, I wouldn't force them into it.
Well, yeah, they just were starting talking about post-race and talk about it and stuff, so I don't really want to pull anyone.
Yeah, so let's not, but we'll prepare for that next week. We'll be at Silverstone, which is always going to lead to some exciting racing.
We're at Silverstone?
We are at Silverstone next week. I just looked.
Love that.
Yep, love some that. Silverstone, and then if anybody who hasn't checked the schedule after Silverstone, it goes to Misano, another one of my favorites. Coda, great track for close racing, and we'll close the season out
at the worst track in the world.
Yeah, depending on who you ask. And then round 6, we'll close out the season at the Nürburgring.
Hell yeah.
It'll be a good season. Lots to look forward to for everybody.
The Nordschleife or the Nürburgring?
The Nürburgring, not the Nordschleife.
Okay, yeah. Thank God. Well, the Nordschleife.
It would be a whole 4 laps long. It'd be great.
No, don't love it.
Love it. But anyways, so we could waffle back and forth all day, but we got to get this broadcast wrapped up. So if anybody wants to join the post-race commentary, go ahead and join us in the Discord. There should be a link in that description if you're interested. Come and join us. It'll be a lot of fun talking about it.
Do you want to grab a Garrity or a Ben who we don't care about their feelings?
No, it'll be okay. We'll set up some post-race interviews for next week. That way everybody's prepared for it, and we'll have fun with them after Silverstone. But that's going to do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for everybody who joined us, and I hope you guys enjoyed the race as much as Adam and I did. Anything you'd like to say before we close up, Adam?
Just as always, love this league, love this series. The racing is fantastic. Please join us. If you're watching this and you like racing, just join us. You're so welcome. You are so welcome to join us in this race, and we would love to have you.
Yep, super beginner-friendly league, and always looking for more drivers. More drivers equals more fun. So if anybody's thinking about it, now's I'm calling you out. Go sign up.
And we can commentator curse you.
Yeah, exactly. But that's going to do it for tonight's broadcast. Thanks again to everybody who joined us. We look forward to catching you next week at Silverstone. As always, my name's Matt McAdams. Joining me was Adam Santana. We both appreciate everybody who joined us. We hope to catch you next week. And thanks again for joining us here at Delta Racing League. You guys have a great week.
See ya.
And we're out.
Love it. God damn, what a race.
Back to back, man. All right, I'm going to go in there and yell at